Hi, my name is Stacy and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about everything on this planet, under the sun, in the solar system, the galaxy, and many things in between. So today I am going to talk about spiritual awakening. And right now, the importance of going at your own pace. So right now, I have had so many things happen these past 4 weeks on my path, in my journey. So many triggers have come up that I've been dealing with. I've been working with my shadow self and that part of me. So if I'm looking a little puffy, it's due to crying and releasing all these negative emotions that have come up to be purged. So life has a funny way of working out for you. Anyway, when you are on this journey of spiritual awakening, a lot of people have an event that triggers them on their path to awakening. Now, my event was the loss of my son's father. I lost my person for 15 years. We were together for 15 years, and when he died, my heart died with him. So when that happened, I kind of questioned existence, all of humanity. Everything got questioned in that time frame. He has been passed away for 7 years, so I have been on this spiritual awakening path and journey for 7 years. Probably longer than that, because I've always been more guided towards spiritual practices like meditation and yoga and even tarot cards and things like that. I identify more as a witch. But that's because I've always worked with energy and I know that energy exists. So therefore, on a spiritual awakening path and having these ideals, they kind of mesh together for me. The belief in something bigger than myself, and the fact that I believe that we also all have that divine spark in us to create our own magic in our life. Manifestation is magic. Magic is manifestation. Manifestation is magic. Spells are manifestation. Spells are like prayers to the divine. Spells are you manifesting what you deeply desire. But spells are tricky too. So let's talk about spiritual awakening. We'll talk about spells some other time. So when it comes to a spiritual awakening, you can have a trigger event that causes you to basically wake up to your spiritual nature. So when this happens, we tend to be going through what is called a dark night of the soul. We are stuck in these negative emotions of grief, pain, anger, hate, fear, doubt. All of these negative, lower vibrational emotions are stuck in our system. And in order to get rid of them, we have to feel them and purge them out. So during the beginning stages of a spiritual awakening, because our true self is unconditional love, light, and truth. So our true self is pure, divine, unconditional love energy. That is our divine self. That is that spark in ourselves. And when you have gone through your life and you have built up all these toxic emotions, toxic situations, toxic people have come in and out of your life, you are still exchanging energy with these situations and people. There's still a form of energy exchange. It's still there. Those toxic situations, beliefs, thought patterns, all of that is still residing in your system. So when you go through a spiritual awakening, the first thing that happens is your whole system, from your body to your mind to your soul to your heart, all of it purges those toxic belief patterns, thought forms, feelings, things, situations, even people end up being released from your life that are toxic. And this is the universe's way of protecting you. This is the universe's way of saying, hey, I love you. I'm watching you. I know you're waking up. I know you're learning more about yourself. I know that you have a deep connection with me now. So I'm going to watch your back while you're going through this. And to watch your back, I may have to remove some people and situations from your life so you can see your true divine nature. Now, when this happens, it can be devastating. It can hurt. It can be crushing. It could kill your spirit at times. And I would say it's okay, but it's really not okay. If anything is killing your spirit, then it's time to let it go. You need to know that if you feel stuck, stifled, and choked off, you need to leave that situation, that person, that place, that thing. And I know that that can be hard to do for some people. So don't get me wrong. I know that that can be hard to do for some people. It was very hard for me to do. I've been there. So I'm not going to tell you anything that I haven't either done or helped somebody else do, because everyone's situation is different. Everyone's journey on this earth is different. We came here to experience duality and be separate beings. We came here to experience duality, but to come into our oneness of unconditional love. And a spiritual awakening is an amazing blessing. You are getting rid of all of those negative vibrations that you no longer need. So you can step into your higher self. So that way you can step into that pure, unconditional love being that is in you. And once you do that, once you step into that light, into that love, into that awareness of this moment right now, once you do that, you'll find your being. Now, mind you, this video is a little different today because I told you I got smacked in the face by the universe the past 4 weeks, right? Well, now I could barely move my neck, so I'm pretty much, hold on. I'm working from my bed. Yes, that's Monsters Inc. in the back. Don't freaking judge me. Don't judge me. When I don't feel good, I put on kids' movies. My kids are now, one is going to be 22 in August, and the other one is going to be 16 in August. Yes, I have 2 boys. Their father passed away, as I said before, and that's what started my spiritual awakening, was their father passing away and being thrust into this situation that I didn't understand. I didn't understand. He was 35 when he passed away. He was 35. And it was so sudden. There was no lead up to it. Nothing. We had been evicted from our house. We were going through turmoil, and I get it. And the last 2 years of his life, I spent covering up certain things that he was doing and trying to make it seem better than it was. And trust me, it wasn't. But because I am a being of unconditional love, I still unconditionally loved him. So, in a way, I enabled him to do what he did. So, we're not going to go there because I don't really want to talk about it. And it's a very hard part of my process that I like to keep private. I deal with those traumas and pains on my own, and then I share with you what I can as I go. So with that part of my life, I spent years, blaming myself, blaming the situation, blaming him, just in blame. And not to mention that, from 6 to 16, I was literally tortured by a person that I was supposed to be able to trust. No. This is why I listen to children when they talk. Because when someone says, hey, mommy, this person hurt me, they're not always being emotionally sensitive. Sometimes 6-year-olds don't have the freaking verbiage to tell you, hey, this dude just raped me. At 6, you don't even know what sex is. You don't even know what sex is. How can you even explain that this person raped me if you don't even know what sex is at 6? You can't do it. So the closest I could get was, hey, mommy, he hurt me really, really bad in my pee-pee. And I was ignored and told not to be so sensitive. Yeah. Thanks for that one. Also, sometimes on the spiritual awakening journey, we end up coming across repeated patterns. These repeated patterns are put in our path. A lot of the time they are negative, and they are put there for us to make different choices. So on my journey, I have learned that if I choose to love myself and I make my choices based on that love, that unconditional love that I have for myself, then I will make the best choice for me. And if that choice is not good for somebody else, then I am so sorry that your journey is not mine. I am so sorry that it hurt you, but your experience, your human experience is not my human experience. So I'm going to make my decisions based on a love for myself and a preservation for my inner peace and a preservation for my heart. So if something is toxic in my life, I am learning that as time goes on, it's so much easier for me to let go of the toxic bullshit. It's so much easier for me to let go of the toxic bullshit. Like, if something shows up and shows to me more than 3 times that it is actually toxic for me and it's causing me actual pain, sorrow, anguish, and bringing me down in my vibration, then that thing is not for me. I'm sorry, whatever it is, that person, that place, that situation, that is not for me. Those thoughts, emotions, it's not for me. Because in me, I am unconditionally loving, I am peace, I am harmony, and I am happy in myself, in my being. I am peace, I am harmony, and I am happy in my unconditional love for self. I don't need someone else to come along and make me happy because I'm making me happy. I don't need someone else to come along and love me because I already love me. Now, if you do, and you add to my happiness, you add to my love, and I can add to your happiness and add to your love. And that is the way life goes. Also, you help people and people end up helping you. That's just how it is. When you expose yourself and become vulnerable to the world or to the people around you, you open up your heart in a way that it hasn't been opened before. So when you expose yourself and you become vulnerable and you open up about those traumas to the people that you love and you care about, you allow them into a little piece of your pain. But at the same time, they help you heal a little bit just by letting you express it. Now, me being an empath, my spiritual awakening is a little different because of all the trauma that I faced. Being an empath, I never want to share the pain that I went through with another person. That's just how I feel. And when I talk about my trauma, that's like me spreading the pain around because I know you're going to feel what I feel. I can't help that. But I also know that sometimes we have to tell the people closest to us the things that have happened. Because how can we expect them to understand how you are now and what you do now if you don't explain to them why you're making the decisions that you're making? They're never going to understand if you don't tell them. So, that being said, spiritual awakening is a plethora of events, a plethora of things. As many people that have gone through a spiritual awakening have stories of their own path. their own way, their own awakening process. Every single person is going to awaken differently. Mine happened to be traumatic, but I was already pretty much on a spiritual path my whole life. I got my first tarot cards when I was 13. I was reading Wiccan books when I was 13. I was following a more nature-based path. I believed in goddesses and gods and that we all hold the spark of divine in ourselves. And I believed this from a very young age. I am now 42, so as you can see, for a very long time, I believed this way. What it was at the time I was really going through a spiritual awakening. I was being bombarded by like TikTok, news, media, social media. Every outlet was basically racism based. And once that happened, I had to start withdrawing myself a little bit. And then COVID happened. And everything was vaccination. I had to withdraw myself from that too. And I stopped watching the news. I stopped doing a lot of posts on social media. I barely even did YouTube videos for you guys. And I know some of you really appreciate my videos, and I really appreciate you. So what happened on my awakening journey is these past, let's say, he'll be passed away for 7 years in October. We'll pretty much say the past 9 years, maybe 10 years. I've been on this path to awaken. Little things have come in my way that have literally shattered the way that I've looked and viewed life along this way. So for the past 9 years, first on my birthday, 9 years ago, I was evicted from my apartment that we held for over 13 years. Then my son's father decided to do his own thing, and he did something really, really messed up that I don't want to put out there right now, because I'm sure some of his family probably watches this, and I love you guys all, so I don't want to put that out right now. Plus, I don't like talking ill of the dead, but then again, it's my story too, so I'm not really talking ill if I'm telling the truth. Anyway, a situation happened. He did something, and I ended up having to make him leave my mother's house. Once he left my mother's house, he did a whole bunch of other stuff and spiraled further and further down this hole that he was building for himself. In doing that, I had to keep continually choosing myself, choosing my children, choosing myself, choosing my children, removing myself from those situations and those views and beliefs. Then 2 years after all of that happened, he passed away. And I was left with our 2 boys and a whole lot of questions and doubts. I doubted my belief system. I doubted the world. I doubted why I should be here. I doubted myself. I doubted my love. I doubted everything you could think of, until I couldn't doubt anymore, because the universe came and smacked me in the face and said, hey, I'm for you. I'm not against you. I went through 3 dark nights of the soul, with the longest one lasting 3 years. I was depressed. I was in anguish. I was dealing with grief. I was in so much pain that I was lost in that pain for 3 years. I could barely get out of bed. And then when I was pulling myself up, I had gotten a job. I had started to make a better life for me and the boys. I was getting out of my grandmother's basement, trying to at least. And then after a year of working and trying to save up money, my right shoulder got dislocated on the job. Then, because of that, I was out of work for an entire year, which led to me having to sue the company that I worked for, which was a whole big deal. Now I can't, this shoulder does not work correctly. So when I do certain things, I just got it to the point where I can now hold my body weight on this shoulder. And after losing over 200 pounds, that's a feat in itself. I have strengthened my ability to take care of myself and take care of my family. And I've moved on this journey. I have moved up level by level by level by level, spiritually, emotionally, in the physical realm, abundantly, all over. And as you go through this awakening process, it's not going to be a linear process. It's going to be more cyclical. It's going to go more in cycles. You're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. You're going to have the in-betweens that just, but if you flow with the cycles of your life, if you flow with the cycles of your life and you don't resist your journey, Spirit will take you to amazing places within yourself and within this world. Just believe that you know what's best for you. Have a great one and peace.